Hi all of you, a very good evening and welcome to today's live session. This is Gayatri here. As you all know, today we are going to be discussing reasoning ability, IBPS PO prelims examination that is scheduled in October, and we have started our all India mock examinations for this particular examination, and last week we started. So I hope all of you who are preparing for IBPS PO have taken this test, and in today's session we are going to be discussing questions that were asked in this last week all India mock examination from the reasoning ability section. Okay, now if you look at the reasoning ability section, there were questions on directions, coding, decoding, and then again questions on assignments, right? There were like 2 or 3 questions on assignments and arrangements where there was a floor puzzle involved. There was a floor puzzle, then a question where you had to arrange 6 people having car parks, okay, 6 different car parks and having different colors of car facing north-south direction. Then there were questions on coded inequalities, questions on data sufficiency, question on ranking, and again a question on linear arrangement, and finally 2 questions wherein you had to arrange people, I think according to the heights, and one more question where you had to arrange a similar kind of arrangement, okay, according to the marks, I guess. I don't remember exactly, but 1 or 2 sets from this type was fairly easy. I felt that the questions wherein on complex assignments were a bit time consuming, but other than that you could have definitely tried the questions on coded inequalities or questions on data sufficiency. All these were fairly easy and mark scoring questions. So that's what I felt. Now let us start solving the questions. So let us look at the first questions for today's session. This question was on directions. So for this question, if you know which direction the person is facing in the beginning, then solving the rest is very easy. What is given here? In an evening, shadow of Rajat is towards his right, and then the distance that he covers is given. So first you have to identify what direction Rajat is facing, okay, and they are saying that he is moving 6 kilometers in a straight line. So first find out in which direction is he facing. See, whenever you have questions on shadow, let us draw the directions diagram: north, south, east and west. In the evening, where is the sun? The sun is towards the west, okay. So, and when will the shadow be towards your right or left? The shadow will always be towards your right or left when you are facing north or south. In either of these cases only your shadow will be to your right or to your left. Now in the evening time, what happens? The sun is towards the west. So where will your shadow be? Your shadow will fall towards the east, right? The sun is shining from here. So if you are standing here, your shadow will be in front, right? So if I am standing facing the east, my shadow will be in front of me. Or I can say when the sun is in the west, the shadow will fall towards the east. Now this person, when he is standing, the shadow is falling towards his right. So as I said, he is either facing the north or the south. Assume that the person is facing the south. Where will his shadow be? His shadow has to fall like this towards the east. Or if you are the person who is facing the south, this is going to be your left side. Or when I am facing south, I can say that the shadow is falling towards my left. So here in the question they are saying that the shadow is falling towards his right. Or what does that mean? The person has to face north. When the person is facing north, this is the way in which his shadow is going to fall. His shadow is going to fall towards the east or towards his right hand side. Yes. So here I know that the person is facing the north. So once you find this out, solving the question becomes very, very easy. Now what is given in the question? In the evening, shadow of Rajat is towards his right, or Rajat is facing the north, and he covers 6 kilometers straight. So he is going 6 kilometers straight, then turns right and covers 4 kilometers. He then turns left and covers another 6 kilometers. Finally, he turns left and covers another 9 kilometers. Now what is the question? Find out how far is he from his starting point and in which direction. So this is his starting point, this is his ending point. So from the starting point, he is in which direction? In this direction, that is northwest direction from his starting point. So obviously you have only one option which has northwest direction. But again you have an option none of these here. If this none of these is not there, directly you can mark this as the answer. But since you have none of these, let us find out what is the distance between his starting point and finishing point. So this length is 6, this length is 4. So this length is, you have 9 here, right? So this length is 5. Now this is like a right angle triangle. So what is the length of this hypotenuse? It is nothing but root of 6 plus 6, right? That is 12. Root of 12 squared plus 5 squared, that is equal to root of 169, which is equal to 13 kilometers. So at what distance is he from his starting point? He is 13 kilometers away from his starting point and towards the northwest direction. Correct answer is option 3. 13 kilometers northwest. Next, Ram is the son of Mohan, but Mohan is not his father. Then find out how is Ram related to Mohan. Again, this question was a very silly question. I don't know why they asked such an easy question. So I hope all of you got this correct. The answer is directly given in the question. What is asked here? Ram is the son of Mohan. Now what is asked finally? How is Ram related to Mohan? Ram is obviously the son, right? See, here it is given, Ram is the son of Mohan. How is Ram related to Mohan? You have to find out. So Ram is the son. Option 2. Very easy one. Next. Yes, everybody is getting 2. Next. Position of Ankit became 174 from the left corner when he was shifted to his left by 79 places. Then find out what is the position of Ankit from the right corner. So what is this answer here? See, position of Ankit became 174 from the left corner when he was shifted to his left by 79 places. So let this be the position of Ankit earlier, okay? Now what is happening? He is shifted to his left by 79 places. Now when that is happening, Ankit is coming somewhere here where his position from the left end is 174, right? His position from the left end is 174, or I can say there are 173 people before him. Now what is the question? What is the position of Ankit from the right corner? They are asking how many people are there after Ankit. Now I don't know totally how many people are there in the line. Unless I know totally how many people are there in the line, I cannot say what his position will be from the right. See, I can only talk about what is his position from the left. No information as to totally how many people are there in the line is given. If that is given, then we can say what is his position from right. So here the correct answer will be can't be determined. Next one on coding decoding. See, at times questions from coding decoding, the logic is very easy. You will be able to answer it fast. Sometimes it is a bit tricky. You might not get it on time. So this question in the examination, it is a bit tricky. I am not sure how many of you got it. Might be it was a good idea to skip it in the examination. We don't have that kind of time. Yeah. If the logic clicks, then it is a different thing. Otherwise, better to skip. So you have diamond. Diamond is coded as follows. See, the logic used here is, now which is the letter that is opposite to D? Letter opposite to D is W, correct? See, basically when I write the letters in the English alphabet in the reverse order, the fourth letter from the beginning is W. Now when I write the letters in the English alphabet in the normal order, the fourth letter from the beginning is D. So opposite to D is W, correct? Now what is W? Now what is W plus 1? After W what will come? X, right? So that is the coding that they have followed. First they find out the, when you write the letters in the English alphabet in the reverse order, what will be the letter that will be opposite to the given letter normally? Yeah, that is what you first find out. Then you add plus 1 to that, okay? Now here what they have done here, see, this is the pattern also that is being followed. It's not also a straightforward pattern. So what is opposite to D again? Opposite to D again is W. What is W plus 1? X. Now again, what is opposite to I? When you write it in the reverse order, opposite to I is R, correct? So opposite to I is R. Now again, R plus 1 is S. Similarly, what is opposite to A? Opposite to A is Z. What is Z plus 1? A. Similarly, what is opposite to N? M. M plus 1 is N. What is opposite to O? L. L plus 1 is M. So this is the pattern that has been followed. Now, same way, what is the word for which you have to find out the code? The word for which you have to find out the code is glacier. So how will you find out? Same logic. So what is opposite to G? It is T. What is opposite to L? O. What is opposite to A? Z. What is opposite to C? X. What is opposite to I? R. V. Opposite to R is I. Correct? I. Now do +1 to all of these. That will give your final answer. So what will you get? U, A, P, Y, W, S, J. That is your answer. U, A, P, Y, W, S, J. That is option 4. X, A, S, O, N, M, X. In the examination, I'm not sure if this logic will click to us. Might be the same question comes, then you can give it a try. Yes, otherwise if the logic is not clicking, better to skip the question and go to the next one. So this is the next set. How many of you tried this in the examination? So what is given here? You have 6 persons who own a different brand of cars, and they have 6 parking lots as follows, not necessarily in the same order. There is a parking lot which has 6 lots, 3 faces north and 3 faces south, and they are facing one another. So how do we draw? You have 1, 2, 3 parking lots, okay, on each side facing opposite to each other. That is, 3 are facing south and 3 are facing north. So these are the ones who are facing north and these are the ones who are facing south. So this is how the car park looks like. And now what is given? Z's car faces north and is parked at one of the extreme end of the lot opposite to the black colored car. So Z's car faces north and is at one of the extreme ends, means either Z can be here or Z can be here. So we have 2 possibilities, right? Either Z can come here or Z can come here. So let us consider both the possibilities and try them out simultaneously. Surely one has to go wrong and there will be only one correct answer, no? So let us take in this case Z to be here and in this case Z to be here. See, we know Z is facing north and it is parked at one of the extreme end. So it is either here or here. I have considered both the cases, and it is opposite to the black colored car. So what is the color of the car here? The color of the car here is black. So in this case here it is black. Now next, there is one car between Q's Ford and the red colored car. Now let us wait to place that. See, it is given here, both the red colored car are parked next to each other. No red colored car faces north. So where should both the red colored car be? Both the red colored car should face the south. And already when you consider the cars facing south, one is already filled as black. So this has to be red. Yes. So this has to be red and this also has to be red. So here in this case this is red and this is red. Now next here what are they saying? There is one car between Q's Ford and the red colored car. So if you consider the car Q's Ford car, okay, between that and a red colored car, in between there is a car. That is, if I have Q and it's Ford, in between there is a car and then there is a red colored car. So in this arrangement, where can this Q and Ford come? So this black has to be Q and his car has to be Ford. So here this black has to be Q and his car has to be Ford. So now this condition is satisfied, right? There is one car between Q's Ford and the red colored car. Next, white colored Maruti car is parked at one of the end and immediate to A's car. So again, where is the white Maruti car come? It's going to come here. See, on top, the cars that are facing south, we have already placed all the colors. We have black, red and red. So this white colored car has to be either on this end or on this end. Similarly, if you are considering this case, it has to be either here or here. Now, let us wait to place that. But what are they saying? The white colored Maruti car is is at one of the ends and immediate to A's car. See, wherever white be, right? See, white is either here or here. Similarly, white is either here or here. But it is given that it is immediate to A's car. So, which is A in both the cases? This has to be A, because the white car, be it here or here, it is close to A. Similarly, be it here or here, it is close to A. So, the car in the middle here is going to be A's car. So, that part we have fixed. Now, next, Audi and BMW are parked diagonally opposite to each other. So, diagonally opposite means these corners, right? This and this, this and this. So, now here we know it is already Ford. So, Audi and BMW are parked opposite to each other means here it has to be Audi or BMW. Similarly, here it has to be Audi or BMW in this case. Similarly, on the top case, this is again going to be Audi or BMW. Sorry, this is black Ford, right? So, Audi and BMW can't come here in this case. So, where will Audi and BMW come? It has to be here, right? Audi / BMW, and the other car diagonally opposite means it is here, Audi / BMW. Now, we need to know where is BMW and where is Audi coming. Now, next, what is given? The Renault car is placed at the right of M's Audi car. So, here it is given M is the one who has the Audi car. So, here already Z is there. So, who should be here? This should be the person who has the BMW, right? So, in the first case, I can fix that. This is going to be the person who has BMW and this is going to be M who has the Audi. See, it is given in the last statement that M has the Audi car. So, very clearly, this is going to be M who has the Audi and that is going to be BMW. So, that is also fixed. So, here in this case again which is going to be M who has the Audi and this is going to be the one who has the BMW. Then next, what is given? L's white colored car is placed immediate next to the black colored Hyundai car. Audi and BMW are parked diagonally opposite to each other. The Renault car is placed at the right of M's Audi car. So, here which is the Audi? This is the Audi, right? Now, remember this is facing the south direction. So, it is given that the Renault car is placed to the right of M's Audi car. Is that possible here? So, here whatever is parked here is to the left of the Audi car, right? It is not to the right of the Audi car. So, this condition is not satisfied here because I have got Audi as here. So, this is the direction in which the car is facing. So, this is the left, right? So, this condition cannot be satisfied. So, this case is wrong and we can eliminate this case. Now, we are left with the case on top. Now, what is given? The Renault car is placed to the right of the Audi. So, this is Audi means this is going to be the Renault car. Okay. So, right of Audi is Renault and then the white colored car is placed immediate next to the black colored Hyundai car. So, here which has to be white, then the white colored Maruti car is parked at one of the immediate end next to A's car. So, this is white Maruti. Okay, this is white Maruti and this white car, the white colored car is placed immediate next to the black colored Hyundai car. So, this is going to be your black Hyundai car. And then this is red, black, white. So, what is this going to be? This is also going to be white. Yes, because they have given here not more than 2 people own the same colored car. So, we have already found out 2 black, 2 red. So, these 2 have to be white. Now, that is also done. What are we left with? We have to find where is P and L, correct? See, again it is given here L's white colored car is placed immediate next to the black colored Hyundai car. So, this is going to be L. If this is L, where is P? This is going to be P. So, that is your final arrangement. Okay, black Q Ford, red Renault P, red M Audi. When you look at the cars facing north, you have BMW Z white, A black Hyundai, L white Maruti. So, this is your final arrangement. Now, let us look at the questions that follow. Who among the following owns Hyundai car? Who owns Hyundai? A, correct? A owns a black Hyundai car. The correct answer is option 2. Next, whose who parks the car opposite to Q's car if Q and L interchange? Who parks the car opposite to Q's car if Q and L interchange their positions? So if Q and L interchange their position, if Q and L interchange their position, what happens? Q comes here, L comes, and here Q comes. So who parks the car opposite to Q now? M is parking the car opposite to Q when Q and L interchange their position. So the correct answer here is M. 4 of the following are alike in a certain way and so form the group. Which one does not belong to the group? So you have Q, Audi, Z, Hyundai, A, Maruti. So let us just write down the, I'll just write down the details here so that it's easier for us to solve that question. So I have Ford, Q, Renault, P, Audi, M. Then here I have Z, BMW, A, Hyundai, and L, Maruti, right? This is what we had. Now, which are alike? See, Q, Audi, Z, Hyundai. So where is Z? See, Z is here, adjacent is Hyundai car. A, Maruti. A is here, adjacent is Maruti. M, Renault. M is here, adjacent is Renault. P, Ford. P is here, adjacent is Ford. But if you look at Q, Audi, right? Q is here, Audi is here. So this is the odd one out. Correct answer here is option 1. In all the other cases, the person and the car that is adjacent to their car. That is what is mentioned. Okay? So the correct answer here is option 1. Now, who are the following who owns a black colored car? So who are the ones who own the black colored car? See, this A owns a black colored car and Q also owns a black colored car. So Q and A are the people who own black colored car. Now, which of the following statement is or are true? A parks his car facing south. No, that's not true. P owns a Renault car. Yes, that is true. L owns a red colored car. No, L owns a white colored car. All are correct. No, that's also not right. So the correct answer here is option 2. P owns a Renault car. Yes, everyone got it correctly. Shall I move on to the next set? No doubts in this one, right? What is given here? There are 6 children, L, K, J, H, G and F, and they are living in different floors in an 8-story building, not necessarily in the same order. The lowermost floor is numbered as 1 and the next floor is 2, 3, so on till 8. And they are also giving us the number of chocolates that each child has. And based on the given information, we have to arrange them in the different floors. So how are the floors arranged? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. So this is the way in which the floors are arranged. Now see, they have given here directly that G lives in the 7th floor. So I can directly take G to be in the floor number 7. Now next, what is given? They are saying J lives in an odd numbered floor immediately below the one who has 6 chocolates more than J. So which are the floors in which J can come? 1, 3 or 5. 7 is already occupied by G, so J cannot come there. Then what is the possible number of chocolates that J can have? See, what is the difference between 53 and 59? It is nothing but 6. Again, difference between 61 and 67, that is also 6, right? So there are no other numbers where the difference between the given two numbers is 6. So either J can have the value 53, right? See, J lives in a floor immediately below the one who has 6 chocolates more than J. So J either has to have 53 chocolates or J has to have 61 chocolates. So J can either have 53 chocolates or 61 chocolates. So if J has 53 chocolates, the person who is living just above J, how many chocolates will he have? He will have 59 chocolates. And if J has 61 chocolates, the person who is living just above J will have 67 chocolates. So that is what we understand now. Now, next information. The difference between the floor numbers of the 2 vacant floors is 3. Okay, let us wait to use that information. Then, next, what are they saying? The difference between the number of chocolates of the one who lives in the lowermost and the topmost floor is divisible by 10. So when you consider the person in the lowermost floor, the number of chocolates he has minus the number of chocolates the person in the topmost floor has, the answer that you get has to be divisible by 10. So what are the possible values that can come here? See, it can either be 53 and 73. Yes, here the difference is 20, which is divisible by 10. The other possibility that we can get is 71 and 61. So let us write down both the possibilities here. So either it is like this, or what is the other one? Let me just write down one extra step here. 8. So either this is 71 and this is 61, or this is 53 and this is 73. So you have two possibilities here. Any one possibility definitely has to go wrong. We will come to that. So in this case, if this is 53, what does that clearly mean? This clearly means that J is not the one who has 53 chocolates, because J is living in some floor below the person who has 59 chocolates. So in this case, anyway, you also know that J is in an odd numbered floor. So J cannot be anyway here. So obviously now I know very clearly that in this case, if I am taking this case, I can say J has 61 chocolates and the person who is living above J is the one who has 67 chocolates. Okay. Now next, what is given? Only one person lives between K and F. Okay, again, now this is one of the case that we tried, right? Same thing, let us replicate to this case. Now, if I know here 61 is going to come, if this is 61, then what does that again mean? Here, definitely J is not 61, right? See, either J has to be 53 or 61. So, in this case, what will J be? J is definitely going to be 53 and the person above J is going to be 59. For sure, if it is this case, right? See, because here 61 is on the 8th floor where J cannot come, because there has to be one person on top of J. So if this is the case, this is the correct value. If this is the case, this is the correct value. Now, let us continue. What else is given? Only one person lives between K and F. Then it says that K lives in an even numbered floor but not 2. So where can K live? K can live either in floor 4 or 6. The number of people, okay, let us wait for that statement. F has 6 chocolates less than G. Okay, so if this is the case, I know that J is 53 and 59, that set is already taken, right? J is 53, the other person who's living above J has 59 chocolates. Now here what are they saying? F has 6 chocolates less than G. So which is the other pair which has difference between them as 6, that is 61 and 67. So if this is the case, then definitely this has to be 67 and this has to be F, right? Because difference between number of chocolates F and G has is 6, very clearly they have said in the statement. So this has to be F, this has to be 67, this has to be 61. So which is K? Obviously this is K. Out of this 4 and 6, this is K. Now the same thing if we look at this statement. Here in this statement, what have we found out? We have found out that J is 61, right? So if J is 61, the person who is living above J is 67. So which is the other pair that we have whose difference is 6? It is 53 and 59. So according to this given statement, what is 53? 53 should be F and 59 should be G. Okay. Now, one more information is given here. What are they saying? F has either the third least or the third highest number of chocolates. So which are the possible values that F can have? See, either F has to have 61 chocolates or F has to have 67 chocolates. Okay, this has to be satisfied. Is that getting satisfied here in this case? It is not. So this case is wrong. You can eliminate this case. You are left with only this case, right? So here it is satisfied. F is the third least, that is 61. It is satisfying. So this is F, this is G, this is K. Then next, what else is given? Next, let us look at this statement. The difference between the floor numbers of the two vacant floors is 3. So what are the possible floor numbers that we can have? See, 8 is filled, 7 is filled, 6 is filled. You have 5, 4, 3 and 2. So the only possible floors which can be empty here right now is 5 and 2, right? See, 5 minus 2 is 3. Any other floors that you minus, you will not get the same answer. So 5 minus 2 is 3. That is the vacant floors. So I can say 5 is vacant, 4 is also vacant. So if these two are vacant, we have to fill these two places. Now next, what are they saying? The number of people
in the floors living above K is same as the number of people living in the floors below L. Above K, how many people are staying? 2 people are staying. So below L also 2 people should stay. So where should L come? This definitely has to be L. So next we have to place, who are the people we have to place? We have to place F is done, G is done. Yes, we have to place J and we have to place H. Now, where do I place J? See, I know that immediately on top of J there is one person who is staying who has 59 chocolates. So obviously this has to be J. J can't be here, right? Because the floor on top then will become vacant, which is not possible. So this is J who has 53 chocolates and this is L who has 59 chocolates. So who should come here? This has to be H. And how many chocolates will K have? K definitely has to have 73 chocolates. So this will be your final arrangement. I think now we have made use of all the information as well that is given in the question. See, it is given H lives at one of the floors below F. Yes, that is also satisfied. Difference between the number of the difference between number of chocolates of K and L is 14. Is that satisfied? K has 73, 59. Yes, difference is 14. That's also satisfied. K lives on an even numbered floor, but not 2. Yeah, K is living in floor number 4. Only one person lives between K and F. Only one person. Yeah, that's also correct. So we have made use of all the given statements, and this was the final arrangement that we get. Okay, that is 1 lives in, in floor number 1, H lives, 71 is the number of chocolates he has. Floor number 2 is vacant, 3J 53, 4L 59, 5 vacant, 6K 73, 7G 67 and 8F 61. So this is your correct answer. First question, how many chocolates does K have? K has 73 chocolates. How many floors are there between F and J? How many floors are there between F and J? J is 53. So when you look at the options, more than 3 is your answer. How many chocolates do H and G have in total? So H has 71 chocolates and G has how many chocolates? 67. So totally how many chocolates do they have? 138. Option 1. In which among the following floor does H live? H lives on the first floor. Who among the following has 61 chocolates? Who has 61 chocolates? F has 61 chocolates. The next question is on data sufficiency. There are 5 members in a family P, Q, R, S and T. Each has different age. Who is the youngest and the oldest among the family? What's the answer for this one? So what do you get from the first statement? Q's age is twice as old as P but younger than T. Or I can say Q is older than P but Q is younger than T. That's what I understand. Correct? Now, using the statement 1 alone, I cannot say who is the youngest and who is the oldest. Let us look at the second statement. What is given? R is half the age of P. So R is half the age of P, or I can say P is older than R. R is half the age of P but twice the age of S, or R is twice the age of S means R is elder to S. Now using second statement alone also I cannot say who is the eldest and who is the youngest. But if I combine these two statements, what do I get? I get T greater than Q greater than P greater than R greater than S. So here the oldest person is T and the youngest person is S. So the correct answer here is option E. Both statements 1 and 2 are sufficient to answer the question. Next one. In a class of 42 students, each scored different ranks. What is the rank of Rohit from top? First statement says Rajesh got 6 ranks below Rohit. Rajesh is 10 from the bottom. So basically what does the, see totally you know there are 42 students and you know Rajesh is 6th from the bottom, okay, or there are Rajesh is 10th from the bottom. So Rajesh is 10th from the bottom means there are 9 people after Rajesh. Then they are saying that Rajesh got 6 ranks below Rohit. So Rohit is here, again Rajesh has got 6 ranks below Rohit. So definitely you can find out the rank of Rohit, right? See, you know all these information, so you just have to find out what is the rank of Rohit from the beginning. So definitely using statement 1, you can find out the rank of Rohit. See, remember, for questions on data sufficiency, don't solve the question, just see if the information is enough to arrive at the answer. So here the information is enough, right? See, you know the position of Rohit from the right end, you know totally how many people are there in the class, so you can find out the position of Rohit from the left end. Next one. Ramesh got 10th rank and there are 3 people between Rajesh and Vanish who is the cousin of Ramesh. Again here, no information about the position of Rohit is given. So how can I say what is the rank of Rohit using statement 2? Using statement 2, I cannot say anything. So the correct answer here is statement 1 alone is sufficient, while statement 2 alone is not sufficient to answer the question. Option A. Next. So next one, try it out. So this set was a fairly easy set. You could have definitely given this question a try in the examination. I think this is a fairly easy arrangement, no? It's just a linear arrangement. You are given 8 people and the different stops that they get down at. And the stops are given from 1 to 10. Stop 1 from east and stop 10 at west. It's very easy, no? You guys should be have finished it by now. Okay, what is given here? There are 10 bus stops, 10 train stops starting from stop 1, that is from east. Okay, so what are the stops that you have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. From east to west, they have given clearly. That's why I'm putting 1 here. See, stop 1 from east to stop 10 at west. Now each the train travels from east to west, and each belongs to different schools. These are the school names that are given, not necessarily in the same order. And there are 8 persons. Okay, there are 10 stops and 8 persons. So there are 2 stops where nobody gets down. Correct? None gets down at 2 stops. That's also given. Next, let us look at the information that is given. A gets down immediately before the one who belongs to KVM. Okay, and what is given? The person from KVM gets down at one of the stop after stop 6. So if the person from KVM is getting down at one stop, A is getting down just before that person. Okay, so if A is here, KVM is here, like that, right? So the person A gets down immediately before the one who belongs to KVM, and it is given that the person from KVM gets down at one of the stops after 6. So if KVM is getting down at 7, A is getting down at 6. That's what it means. Now J gets down at stop 6 and only 4 people get down before J. So J is getting down at stop 6. So J is the one who is getting down at stop 6. So where can I place A? See, either A can be here and KVM can be here, or A can be here and KVM can be here, and so on. Okay. Now we know that the person from KVM gets down at one of the stop after 6. That's what we know. Now we don't know where to place A and where to place KVM. Now let's wait for that. Then what else is given? There are 2 stops and only one person gets down between A and I. It is also given I gets down after A. So where should I place A? See, there are 2 stops between A and I gets down after A. See, I know A has to be here somewhere, right? 7, 8, 9, 10, anywhere here. It can't be 10 for sure. It has to be either 7, 8 or 9, because it is given A gets down just before KVM, and the person who is from KVM gets down at one stop after 6. It is also given that there are 2 stops between A and I gets down after A. So if I place A here, then where is I? There are 2 stops between A and I gets down after A. So this is I and this has to be KVM. Now it is correct. No? See, I can't place A here, because then where will I go? Between A and I need 2 stops, which is not there. So the only place where I can place A is 7, and the only place where I can place I is 10. So this is the place where I put I and A. Next, what is given? This is KVM then. Then what else is given? Neither A nor H gets down at stop 1 or 10. Okay. 3 people get down between A and H who belong to AET. See, it is also given that before J, right? See, J gets down at stop 6 and only 4 people get down before J. So here one position is vacant, correct? There are 4 people who get down before J. And it is given that between A and H, 3 people get down. Now, H has to be somewhere here. I know H for sure is not in 1, but we don't know where H will be. Let's wait for that. So, this is what we have put till now. Next, what is there? There is only one stop between the person who is from KVM and SBOA. Then, look at this statement. None gets down before and after the persons who belong to AVS and IGS respectively. Now, what does this mean? None gets down before the person who belongs to IVT and after the person who belongs to IGS. That means this is AVT and this is IJS. Okay. See, none gets down before the person who belongs to AVT means he should be the first one to get down. Right. So, this has to be AVT, right? Again, AVT can be anywhere else also, because I am not sure if one is vacant or somebody is getting down there. So, even if you are not fixing this now, let us keep that there. See, it is given that none gets down after the person who belongs to IJS. So, definitely 10th stop I is getting down. So, I has to definitely get down at IJS. That part you can fix for sure. So, this is going to be IJS. Now, I know this is KVM. See, they have also given there is only one stop between the person who is from KVM and SBOA. So, which is SBOA? This is going to be SBOA. There is only one stop between KVM and SBOA. So, this is also fixed. Then, there are 4 stops between the person belonging to SBOA and the stop where D gets down. So, there are 4 stops, means where should D be? 1, 2, 3, 4. So, this should be D. Now, if this is D for sure, then I know this has to be AVT, because this is the first stop where somebody is getting down, right? So, the person who belongs to AVT should be D. See, it is given none gets down before the one who belongs to AVT. So, AVT should definitely be in position 1. That is also fixed. Then what else is given? There are only 3 people left in the train after stop 6 and A gets down immediately after J. There are only 3 people left in the train after stop 6. That means, see, this is stop 6. After stop 6, there are 3 people left, means the person A, the person who belongs to KVM and the person who belongs to IGS. What does that mean? That means that at stop 9, nobody gets down at stop 9. So, that is one of the stop where nobody gets down. Now, next what is given? Neither A nor H gets down at stop 1 or 10. 3 people get down between A and H. So, 3 people get down between A and H who belongs to AET. So, where can H be? See, this is one person. Now, H can either be in 3 or 2. Again, we have to fix that. Okay. Now, let us wait. Let us see how to fix it. See, here it is given none gets down at the immediate stop after B gets down. B belongs to BVB. So, B belongs to BVB. C is from AVP and there are either 3 stops or 3 people before him. So, C belongs to AVP and there are either 3 stops or 3 people before him. So, where can I put C? See, if there are 3 stops before him, 1, 2, 3, this has to be C. So, if this is C, then see, we found out that D is getting down at stop 1. So, D is the first person to get down. So, that means AVT has to be in the first place. That's how I fixed that. So, next I have H is belonging to AET, that I have got. Then C is from AVP and the next thing that I know is B belongs to BVB. So, these are the places that I have to fix. Now, I have to see which, there is one stop where nobody gets down. I have to find out what that is. What they are saying is wherever is B. See, if I fix B here, wherever is B, if I take this position 2 to be B, then this place has to be vacant. So here you will have this. So if let us take this to be B. If this is B, then this is vacant. And what are they saying about C? About C, what they say is that C is from AVP and there are either 3 stops or 3 people before him. So here 3 stops before him means then this has to be C. If this is C, this is H. Again, this arrangement is not possible because they are saying that between A and H there are 3 people who get down. That condition is violated here. So this is not a possibility, right? This possibility won't be correct. So B can't be in position 2 because wherever B is, next to B it should be vacant. So if I put B in position 3, what will happen? If I put B here, then this place is vacant, right? They are very clearly given that none gets down after the immediate stop after B gets down. So if this is B, see, we just found out that B cannot be in position 2. If B is in position 2, it violates the rule which says between A and H there are 3 people who get down. So if I put B here in position 3, then this is vacant. Now if this is vacant, then C and H have to be in these 2 positions. Now where can C and H be? See, they are saying that either C is getting down, C is from AVP and there are either 3 stops or 3 people before him. So if there are 3 stops before him, then C has to be here. So in this case, that is not true. So next thing is what? Or there are 3 people before him. In that case, this has to be C. Then only there will be 3 people before him, right? See, this is one of the vacant stops. This is the other vacant stop. So definitely all the other places will be filled. So if this is C, then who should this be? This has to be definitely H, because again they are saying that between A and H there are 3 people who get down. That condition is also satisfied here. So this should be your correct arrangement. So you know already that C is from AVP, H is from AET and B is from BVB. Now once you have filled in all these places, you know for sure who is going to be in KVM. KVM is G. That is the only person that we are left with. So this is the final arrangement that you get. Is it clear? See, at this point you have to check 2 or 3 possibilities and then you narrow down at the final answer. So the answer that you get will be D belongs to stop 1 AVT, H belongs to stop 2 AET, B 3 BVB. This is a stop where nobody gets down. Then at stop 5 you have C who belongs to AVP. Then at 6 you have J belongs to SBOA. And at 7 it is A. Now where does A belong to? We have A should be the last one, no? Left there is GNSS. A should be GNSS. Then 8 you have G from KVM. 9 is nobody gets down at stop 9. 10 IJS. See, first I fix the person belonging to SBOA. Okay, once I fix that, it is given that there are 4 stops between the person belonging to SBOA and the stop where D gets down. So 4 stops between means 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 stops. These are the 4 stops. So where should D be? D should obviously be in 1. So 1 cannot be vacant. So this is your final arrangement. Everybody got it? Let us look at the questions that follow. In which among the following stop does J get down? In which among the following stop does J get down? J gets down in stop 6. How many stops are there between the stop where H and G gets down? So between H and G, how many stops are there? Between H and G, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stops are there between H and G. So the correct answer is more than 4. Who among the following belongs to KVM school? So who belongs to KVM school? G belongs to KVM school. How many students get down before GNSS? How many students get down before GNSS? GNSS is here, right? How many students are getting down before that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 students are getting down before that. Option 3. Yes, next one. So the next question is on coded inequalities. What is given here? J is equal to K, not equal to L, not equal to M, equal to N. m equal to n greater than O, greater than or equal to P, greater than Q. There are two conclusions. You have to see which conclusions follow. K great, see, you know J is equal to K, right? And what is given here in the conclusion? And you know M is equal to N. These two things you know. Now K is greater than N, M is greater than or equal to J. These are the two conclusions that are given. See, here you know K is greater than N is given, right? Now I know M is equal to N. So instead of M I can put N here. Similarly, instead of J, right? Instead of J, what can I put? I can put K. Or what does the statement mean? The statement means N is greater than or equal to K. Or I can say whatever given here is K is less than or equal to N. See, if you look at the second conclusion, what they have given is K is less than or equal to N. First conclusion says K is greater than N. Correct? So these are the, see, I have just written the conclusions in terms of K and N. That's all. Okay. Now, what is given here? J is equal to K. K is not equal to L. And L is not equal to M. M is equal to N and so on. So, can K be greater than N? See, basically here not equal to means what? K is greater than L or K is less than L. Similarly, L is not equal to M means either L is greater than M or L is less than M. See, what does not equal to mean? Not equal to means they are not equal. So, either one is greater or lesser, right? Either greater or lesser. So, in that case, how will you solve it? See, I have to find out the relationship between K and N. How will I find out the relationship between K and N? Either K can be greater than N, correct? Or K can be less than or equal to N. So, any one of the conclusion will be true, okay? Either K can be greater than N or K can be less than N. Now, see, it can also be equal to, right? Now, you see, if this is the case, right, if you are getting something like this, K can also be equal. You don't know, we don't know. But any of these will definitely be the answer. So, the correct answer here will be either conclusion 1 or 2 is true. Is it clear? See, whenever they give not equal to, no, try putting there what can come there. Either it has to be less than or greater than. That's what it means. Now, if you write it down there that way, then it would be better to solve. So, the correct answer here will be either conclusion 1 or conclusion 2 is true. Next, S is greater than or equal to T, not less than U is equal to V, less than W, not equal to X, greater than Y, greater than or equal to Z. So, here what is given? T is not less than U. That means, what does that mean? T is greater than or equal to U. Similarly, here W is not equal to X means W is greater than or W is less than. Any one of the symbol should come here. Now, what does the first conclusion says? The first conclusion says V is less than X. So, now again we have to compare only these terms, right? See, you have V less than W. See, either it has to be greater than X or it has to be V less than W less than X. It can be any one of these cases. Now, if this is the case, right, I can say for sure that V is less than X. If this is the case, then I can say V is less than X. But if this is the case, then I cannot find out the relationship between V and X, right? So, for sure, I am not able to find out the relationship between V and X. So, what will the answer here be? The answer here will be cannot be determined, right? Or what can you say? Neither conclusion 1 nor conclusion 2 is true. That's what you should go with the answer as neither 1 nor 2 is true. See, can I say for sure that now if this was the case, then I got V is less than X. But can I say for sure this conclusion is true? No, it's not. So, this conclusion does not follow. This is just one of the possibilities that can come. So, both the conclusions don't follow here. Neither conclusion 1 nor conclusion 2. Right, I think with that the questions chosen for today's session are over. So, I think all the coded inequality question this time had this
not equal to and not less than symbols and all. If you just put in these, what are the possibilities that can come there and then solve, then it will be very easy. Okay. So there were 2 or 3 more questions of the same type which you can try out at home. Otherwise we have covered almost all the question types. See, for that, so that is it from us for now, and so all the very best with your preparations, and this is Gayatri signing off. Till then, take care, good night.